Hey guys and girls, BF3 Messiah here with a new video for you. This is shotgun comparison guide. The main two shotguns that we're going to be focusing on this week's episode is this 870 MSC and the M1014. And now the 870 MSC is a pump action shotgun, whereas the M1014 is a semi-automatic shotgun. Both of these shotguns can use the flechette, buckshot and frag rounds, and the 870 MSC can also use slugs, which are rounds designed for long range. First things first, let's do a sight comparison. Now what you're looking at now is strike at carg hand with the 870 MSC and the M1014. This is a sight comparison. Now what you're going to see now is the 870 MSC aim down sight, and when you're aiming down sight on these shotguns it increases the zoom level to 144%. Now the 870 MSC has a very bad iron sight in my opinion, as it's hard to look at in a precision way, and the shotgun itself isn't very big, which is a good thing as it allows you to see more of the map around you for a better sight comparison. Now the M1014 is a bigger gun itself, which blocks a lot more of the map, so you can't see as much of what's going on around you. Like, you might miss important enemies that might try and shoot you that you need to duck from. However, it does have a more precision iron sight, as it has a white dot in the middle, which is where the centre of your shots are going to be, with a nice circular ring to look through where the enemies are going to be, and generally if the enemies are in that ring you're pretty much going to hit them. What you're looking at now is a projectile damage chart, and we're going to start off with the 12 gauge frag rounds semi and pump, then we're going to go to the slug rounds semi and pump, then we're going to go to the buckshot, and then the flechette rounds. First things first, let's go for the frag rounds. Now the 12 gauge frag round semi-automatic has a maximum damage of 20 at 8 meters and a minimum damage at 10 at 40 meters, with a drop of 9.81 downwards, which is the rate of gravity, and its blast damage is 30. However, this has been recently nerfed to about 5 damage, I think, with a minimum blast radius of 1.5 to do the most damage due to the blast, and a maximum of 3, and that will do the minimum damage of the blast. And if you're outside of that radius, you won't get affected by the blast. Now 12 gauge pump. This has a maximum of 60 at 8 meters and a minimum of 10 at 40 meters. And the reason why it's got 60 is because it's pump action, and to make the game fairer, they've obviously had to increase the frag round damage. Now its drop is the same, which is the rate of gravity. Its blast damage doesn't change. It doesn't change over distance. However, the radius and maximum amounts of damage due to those radiuses stay the same. Now 12 gauge slug semi-automatic. This has a maximum of 50 and a minimum of 34, and that maximum is at 8 meters and that minimum is at 40, and this drop is 12 meters as its maximum drop. 12 gauge pump, maximum damage is 100 at 8 meters, minimum is at 34 and that's at 40 meters, and that drop is minus 12 again. However, the body multipliers will definitely guarantee a one-shot kill with the pump action. The buckshot now, and this is for both, as it doesn't change, as you get buckshot in the semi-automatics and the pump action shotguns, as well as the automatic shotguns. Now this is at maximum damage of 20, and that is at 4 meters, and a minimum damage of 6 at 25 meters, which proves it very ineffective at long range, and its drop is minus 15. Now we're going to move over to the flechette round, and this maximum damage is 14.3, and that is at 12 meters with a minimum of 8.4, and this is at 25 meters. And what the flechette rounds are used for is bullet penetration through things like walls, metal, sheet metal, and anything else that you can think of, and it basically comes into a good effect on maps like No Shah Canals and Carg Island on Team Deathmatch. However, I wouldn't recommend using these, as they tend to be very ineffective most of the time. Just so we know now, for this quick little tip video, is the damage multipliers for each part of the body. The head has a damage multiplier of 2.0, torso of 1.0, the arms as 1.0, and the legs as 0.9. So basically you want to be aiming at the top of the torso to the head. Now what you're looking at is a weapon damage chart, and we're going to be focusing on the shotguns, and you're going to be able to see the 870 MSC, the Sega 12K, the M1014, the Dow 12, the USAS 12, and the Mark 3A1. And what this chart's going to show is the damage over distances, magazine size, the reload timings of empty and full or incompletely used. With the threshold, you're going to be able to see the left recoil, the up recoil, and the right recoil. Okay, first things first, all of these recoil values and everything is based on the 12 gauge slug, and that is for the shotguns. So we're going to start off with the 870 MSC. Now the 870, we can look at the bullet drop off damage from a previous part of the video, as I couldn't actually input it into this table here. However, it has 5 rounds, which increases to 8 when you whack on the extended rounds attachment. Its maximum reload time when empty is 1.3 seconds per shell, as opposed to 0.37 seconds when not every shell is already in the gun. Now its base recoil is 7, with 0.1 to the left, 1 upwards, and 0.3 to the right. So basically, your recoil is going to go to the top right, as the M1014 has a base cartridge size of 5, which is increased to 7 with the extended mags, and its empty reload time for each shell is 1 second, as opposed to 0.55 seconds when the rounds aren't completely finished, which is quite good in my opinion for a semi-automatic shotgun. Now, the recoil damage. You have a base recoil of 18, which is very large, which you can definitely tell when you use the shotgun, with an upwards recoil of 1.5, a left recoil of minus 0.1, which basically goes onto the other side, and a rightwards recoil of 0.3. So your recoil here is basically going to go quite far. It's going to be quite powerful, so it's going to be a long delay to shoot, and it's going to go very large to the top right. But anyway, there'll be more shotgun tips and tutorials on my channel in the next videos. This is BTL Messiah, and I'd appreciate if you could like, possibly favourite, click on my channel, and subscribe to me, and also write a comment. That would be fantastic. Anyhow, I'm going to go now, so I'll speak to you all soon. I'm signing out. Goodbye.